Good morning. Today we're going to be looking at how we can make a drawing app inside Swift using Xcode. And so as you can see right here, we're in our storyboard for our main storyboard. And I'm in what's called my DrawingViewController scene. So if I click my DrawingViewController up here on this thing, you can go to the Identity Inspector. And you can see I have my custom class listed right here for my Identity Inspector of my DrawingViewController. Again, keeping the same process where my controller name reflects what it is and what it's going for. I've dragged out a view object right here, and I've labeled as a custom class DrawingView. So in order to make it so I can draw on this easily, I do need to actually use a custom class for that. And so that class right there I've listed as DrawingView. We'll take a look at that in just a bit. I also have a button right here for changing the screen so we can do other parts of the app, but no big deal for that. We have just a draw up for there. And again, to add components, I just go over here in my object library, and I give the name of what I'm looking for, in this case a view. And I would scroll down to the bottom of this, and look, here is a view right here. A nice rectangular object I can drag over. I can put another one in right here behind this, and I could have that custom class be DrawingView right there as well. And at that point, I now have a DrawingView on this. It's also a DrawingView, and you can see that it has that same link. But I don't want to keep that in there, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that and get it out of the way. So I have a DrawingView on that. If I right-click over on this right here, I don't have any outlets, as you can see, listed for that, because I'm not using anything programmatically attached to my view controller. We'll go ahead and take a look at the view controller first, and then look at the actual code that goes along with it. So over here in my DrawingViewController, as you can see, it is a completely generic view controller. It's just inheriting from UIView because I'm not doing anything special inside it. It has components in it, but they're not referred to at all programmatically, so I don't have to actually give any references to it. So let's go take a look at the DrawingView.Swift. And so here we have my DrawingView.Swift. As you can see right here, it's a public class that inherits from UIView. So it's a DrawingView. The big thing we have to look at is the method draw, which takes a rect as a parameter. And so we have this public override func draw. And if you notice, we have the external, if you notice right here, we have an external name of underscore, which means it doesn't actually get a name if it's called externally. So that's just a way we have that specified inside the code for that. If I wanted to refer to the rectangle I'm drawing inside the method itself, of course, refer to it by rect for the internal method name. And this is a void method. And again, you have this lovely little comment that's given to you right at the beginning when you create a UIView custom class. You only want to override draw if you're performing custom drawing, which we are. And so we have a couple different things we're drawing inside here. We have a createStickFigure with a call to .stroke afterwards, because the createStickFigure method, as you can see, returns UIBezierPath. And so if you simply just give a UIBezierPath, nothing shows up on screen. We have to actually stroke that so it can actually be seen on the screen. We have our drawTurtle method as well as a drawWithImage method. And we'll go ahead and take a look at those step by step to go through that. So first, let's take a look at the createStickFigure method, the one that returns the UIBezierPath, so we can take a look at that. And so over here in the createUIBezierPath method, we can see that we have a figure be a UIBezierPath using the standard approach where it's a single use variable. It's only going to be used inside this method, and I'm only calling methods on the object, so I don't have to do any variable components to that, so it's just a let. I named it figure because it's going to be a stick figure because my art skills are legendary. It's a UIBezierPath. Is the type of object. I'm using the default constructor for that because there's nothing special I have to do. I'm setting the color on that, the stroke, to be magenta because it's a great color. Might as well. I'm setting my line width to 3, and then I'm using the method addArc, which draws a circle. It takes a center radius right here, 200, 200, so it's going to find the center of my view that I'm in right now at 200, 200 is what will be the center of that arc. The radius of this is 20, so it would be 20 from center to edge. And its starting goal is at 0, and it goes for 2 pi, aka a full circle. So it's going to draw a full circle, just like you would for a stick figure. And then the way it's going to draw is clockwise. It's going to start and go, for you guys, of course, be like that, because of course we want to have backwards for what I'm looking at, but no big deal. Then I'm going to use the move method. The move method is where I'm going to take my pen, I pick it up, and I go to that specific spot on the screen. In this case, I make to a CG point at 200, 220. I then use the addLine method. The addLine method, just like it says, adds a line, but it does not, I repeat, it does not show it on screen. It simply makes a line of that UIBezierPath. So all of these addLine and addArc methods, they draw it, but it's not visible. It's only visible when I call stroke on the BezierPath. So although if I do addLine, 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 and I never call .stroke, you'll never see the drawing. It just sits there in nothingness. Not very helpful. So I add line, and as you can see, I'm just making some lines at 200, 270. I move to a new spot, add a new line from 220 to 240 from that spot that I just moved to. I again pick up and move to a new spot, add a line, pick up and move to a new spot, and add a new line. I return that figure. I then use that draw method right here. It comes back to that and calls the .stroke. So at that point, it will then use the 3-point width as well as magenta, and it'll draw out those lines I just collected. And so we'll take a look at that. We then also have our drawTurtle method, so we can see what that does. and drawTurtle. I'm using a nice little reference to the amazing language Logo. And so we have Logo is a UIBezierPath. And in this case, as you can see, I did not do of type. I simply just said let Logo equal UIBezierPath, because we can simply just do an implicit assignment of type right there. We don't have to actually explicitly say it like we did up above on line 27. I'm going to set my fill color to be white to match what I remember as a small child of what Logo looked like. And then Logo move to, specific point again, pick up and go, aka pen up. And then Logo add line, and then Logo.close. The close method immediately connects where I left off with my starting point with a nice quick straight line. And that'll do a convex or concave figure. It doesn't matter, automatically just connects the start point to the end point. And it's great for doing some basic drawings. And then I call .fill. So .fill is not like stroke. .fill fills in the area that is enclosed by that space. And so as you can see, because this is a void type method, there's no way to call anything after it on that because there's nothing that's returned by it. And then finally, drawWithImage. My drawWithImage is going to be a little bit fun. As you can see right here, I've let Bob Ross, a nice little reference to a lovely piece of popular history. And then I'm going to set a UIBezierPath. I'm going to use the UI color pattern image with a UI image named cute and use that to set fill. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint with that picture. And so we're going to have a cute little picture to paint with. I'm going to set my stroke as well to be green and my line width to 1.4, a nice little thin little line. And then I'm going to use that to move to some specific spots. I'm doing a very random shape for this. And then I call .close, .stroke, and .fill. And so let's go ahead and take a look and see what happens when I run this project. So I stop that, I run. And when I run that project, you can see right here, I have my lovely stick figure in magenta, my logo, turtle, yes, in white, and then my painting with cute kitties as a strange little piece of art up there in the corner. And so that's how we can actually make it so we can have that happen. So we can use a UIBezierPath and call .stroke to draw a stick figure, .fill to fill in with a color of our choice, or we can use an image, in this case a cute little kitten that's inside my resources, inside my lovely assets.xc assets, and I can paint with the cute little kitten. I could go ahead and change that to paint with my Octocat, and we'll see what happens right there. So I'm going to go back to my DrawingView.swift, and I'm going to change that to Octocat. And I paint with Octocat, and because my Octocat is much bigger, it's a blank white area. Not so cute. So we'll leave that as cute, because painting with cute little kittens is fun. There's my cute little kitten. As you can see, I've used that so it just tiles that image across the space. It's a great way to do some fun stuff. You can pick any image that you'd like to put inside that and do lots of cool patterns or tessellations. It'd be a great way to try some nice little projects for doing some creative artwork or something inside Swift. And again, another way we can show how computer science can be creative as well as fun. And so we can do all sorts of complex and or interactive components with this. You can even draw by using interaction with the thing and have it grab the points from the user and draw on those Bezier paths that are created by the interaction. But that's above and beyond what we're working on this assignment. So just a quick review as to what we did. We have our lovely DrawingViewController, very basic, nothing special. Again, just a quick little subclass of ViewController that doesn't do anything special. We have our DrawingView custom class. It is a subclass of UIView. When we do a subclass of UIView, we do have to override the draw method and actually give some code to it. And inside that, we use some BezierPath methods. I have my createStickFigure that returns a BezierPath on which I call .stroke, aka make it so it can draw that picture. I have my drawTurtle method to demonstrate how to use a basic color fill. And then I also have my drawWithImage method so I can show how I can actually fill with a picture and make it really cute. And again, we see how that looks right here on the left with our drawTurtle right here giving me the triangle, my drawStickFigure right here where it creates a BezierPath and then strokes it right here inside the draw method. And finally, my lovely drawWithImage where I paint this cute little image right here with kittens. And so thanks and have a great day.